in the pavement, driving far from where you are. I just listen, you raving. I don't understand why. I just won't hand dry. I just won't dry. I don't understand why. If I could be a man, if I could be a man.
my mind. Just need a little more time. In with the new, out with the old, but so unsure what the future holds. Regretting the love I once had. Memories are good, but feeling bad. Just need to clear my mind. Just need a little more time. Falling from one wasn't meant to be. Left with so much uncertainty. Try to accept what comes my way. Get me through those harder days.
Man, I was gonna. Hello? Oh, what's up,
And we're
everybody?
live.
Happy Fast Track Feedback Friday.
FastTrack Feedback Friday. What's so funny, Chris?
I was gonna, I was gonna lower down my volume so I could like fart, but you were going loud. I was like, oh, I have to say, welcome to Fast Track Feedback Fridays. Oh
FastTrack
man,
Fartback Fridays. How about
yeah,
that?
Flatulence Fridays.
Flatulence Friday. We heard a little bit of flatulence last week. Thank you for that, team.
Was that me?
No, it was that song.
Oh yeah, glurp.
It was some
glurping.
interestingly very usually organic is used as like a a good adjective,
thing,
but
yeah.
some very organic sound design that we heard.
What if he just farted in the mic and then put it on auto tune or something?
Could have been, man. There's stuff out there. There's a Wolfpack song. There's like this like meditation skit, and it's like all these synth sounds that sound like that.
Wolfpack?
Yeah.
Dude, they're so fucking good.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are back for another Fast Track Feedback Fridays, giving feedback to your music. This is your 15 minutes of fame. I mean, we literally spend like 15 minutes on feedback, which is one of our differentiators here, because we want to give useful feedback as opposed to just saying, this sucks, this ain't it, or this is it. And if it is it, we have playlist placements that are available. So if your shit is really good, it's really ready for prime time, then you get on some extra playlists, you get a social media post, you get all of the love. So yeah, just keep sending us stuff as you improve, and we've got a whole lot of shit today to get through.
Yeah, we might be able to catch up.
Yeah,
assuming we get no submissions, but that's never the case. So, and we always want more submissions. So please, like by any means, we are more than happy to get more and more. So yeah, just to say what the queue is, we have Quo first, then Shibal B, Rix's, then Castronovo, Meadle, Giordano Martinez, and Yordnads. Whoa, the last five are like friends of the stream, common people. So I'm glad to can't wait to hear those guys' songs.
Yep.
But, yeah, we'll start with Quo. I don't think I see any description on our sheet here. He says so. Its song is called Rebellion, and then in the description on the SoundCloud it says learning the genre, just an intro, beat section, melodic section, and outro. Okay. It's a work in progress, so we could probably like comment on stuff. Yeah. Anything else?
No, I think we're good to go.
All right, it's Quo, it's Rebellion. I love the album art. It's like a Japanese apartment complex. But here it is. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's from like a Disney movie or something.
I did not expect this.
It's the only salvation us magical girls have.
I didn't expect that either.
Wow.
It's like a nice room noise on the kid there.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Whoa.
Yeah, it's really tight. I like the chime.
The piece that used to be Madoka before she ceased to exist. For some reason, you were all pulled in with her. And now you can't return to where you came from either. You have no right to screw everything up like this. I'm an existence called evil now. And if evil is supposed to disrupt the divine and be a force of chaos, it's only natural to accept the laws of
Ooh,
Hmm.
there's some cool stuff going on there.
Yeah.
It's like hearing the drop, but you're outside of the club. Rebellion, Quo. That was dope.
Cool.
Interesting. Many questions like where's the sample coming from and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it's pretty sweet. First impressions, Josh. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if I fully like understand it, if that makes sense,
Mhm.
because I don't know like where that comes from or what the context is or what it's supposed to like be conveying exactly.
Mhm.
I think it's a cool like vibe. I feel like if really if you know where like the sample's coming from, then you probably would hit a little bit harder.
For sure.
But because it sounds very specific, right? There's like a reason for that being in there, sort of.
Yep.
But overall, I mean, musically, I think it's cool. Like the beginning, it sounds like it's in a room, sort of. And I was a little bit concerned. I was hoping it wouldn't be like that the whole time because it's a little
Yeah.
weird, like when you're listening to a song that's like being played in a room for the whole song. And of course, they didn't do that. They did go into the full on, picture,
Yep.
which I thought sounded pretty good.
Yeah.
Overall, pretty balanced and hit pretty hard. The only like mixing thing that I could really think of was it was like a fair amount quieter in the sections that were not the main drop,
Drop.
right?
True.
Yeah, which
You can
like
see it in the waveform.
yeah, and again you can see it there. It's always a middle ground. Like it's so often that it's either like the whole thing is brick walled or the quiet sections are just like way too quiet in comparison. It's all a balance. I mean, most things, most sub aspects of creating quality music is about that middle ground, that balance.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, that's the only thing I could think of. Other than that, I mean, I thought it was good. Do we want to do our scores?
Yeah, let's do it.
Did you have
So,
any other first impressions or?
hmm. Nah, I mean, I thought creatively, I thought it was interesting that the kid in the beginning had like a room noise. I thought that was pretty cool, and I'm glad that
Mhm.
he didn't stick there the whole time, or he or she. And then like at the end, like it was gonna be a big drop or whatever, but then it was like you're outside of the club, you know. It was just creative. I thought it was cool. I was never really bored throughout the whole thing. I was left with some questions like, what are you trying to convey with that sample? Because it's kind of inaudible. So I don't know if you're just putting it there for a vibe or if you're putting there for people to like actually hear what they're saying. Because I would say if you actually want them to hear what the sample is saying, then you would probably boost it or make it a little more audible. And the other way, if you're there for a vibe, like having that long ass section for it is probably not the best thing. Let me see. It looks like it's about 20 seconds. So, but yeah, that's my first impressions. So, we can go to vibes.
Dope. Yeah, I mean, for me, for vibes, I would say, uh, again, if I like had some connection to the sample, or if I even knew what it was, it would be a little bit more favorable or impactful.
Hmm.
Right now, I'm like, okay, like somebody likes some show or movie, and I don't know what it is. Like,
Yep.
I feel like a little bit of an outsider, maybe.
Yep.
Um, otherwise, I think the music, supplemented it well, worked with it well,
Hmm.
good vibe. I would say for me, it's like, you know, close to good to go. I can't really assess the vibe on behalf of the target audience.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's hard to say. Yeah, I think it's decently put together. There's like interesting stuff creatively. With the kind of way you processed the drums or the drop, it just made me sound. It made it sound like I was an outsider. I was outside of the club during the drop. But yeah, it's hard to say because I don't know the sample. I'm not familiar with it, and I didn't know what the whole message of the song was. Maybe the sample would have given that. So I'm just left kind of on the outside. That was a good way of putting it. I don't know. So that being said, maybe the person that doesn't know the sample could vibe with it more. But even then, it's like if I put myself in that shoe, I would still say I want it to be more loud or something. Like I can't really. It's not really um peeking out to me. So I would say for me, it's like between 50. It's like 50-50 between yellow and green because it sounds decently made. Like
Yeah,
like it would be for good to go, right? But
yeah.
and it's like, it sounds pretty epic with the strings and the chimes. I'm a big fan of chimes in hip hop type beats.
Hmm.
But yeah, it just
Cool.
kind of left me empty and confused. So,
Yeah, I mean that was my intuition. Is like my personally, I would say something like that, like half
mhm.
half and half. But I don't really know what they're aiming for exactly.
Yep,
Um, for content, I think that's the vibe comments we
good
made.
kind of. Sorry,
Yeah, really relate to,
better.
to content with what's in there. I mean, the
Yep.
the sounds that are used are fine. They're good. The drums hit hard, super
Hmm.
good. Lots of credit to be given there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, maybe the sample, like maybe you could use parts of that show or sample or whatever that are um, don't require as much context to appreciate. Like if there were a couple parts in there that I kind of chuckled at that were funny, but there were other parts of like I don't know what the context is here. I don't know what's happening, what they're talking about. So maybe just being more selective with your sample so that you can relate the audience that knows the source content and
Hmm.
the audience that's just listening for the first time, and like making sure that there's something like funny in there, or that the words being
Gripping.
said, yeah,
Yeah.
like, or the words being said like relate to the music more.
Dude, was it me or did it sound like the sample was recorded like through a phone speaker or something?
I
Like
don't know. I mean,
it
it
just
could have
wasn't
just
crystal
been.
clear either.
It wasn't. I mean, I think it was filtered
Processed.
over like
Yeah.
telephone filtered type thing or whatever, or
Yeah.
just like a low pass type thing. But for effect, I think that's fine. I mean, I thought the quality of the audio on the sample probably could have been a little bit better. Maybe that's just like too much filtering was put on it, or it was put in a reverb that kind of muddied it up a little bit.
Mhm.
But yeah, I can see that too. So I mean, for on the content side, for me, I would say again, it's really like 50-50 between develop and good to go, because your instrumental parts I think are like pretty good, well chosen,
Yeah.
and the sample could be good for some people and kind of lackluster for others.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I could vibe with that score actually. I would just say, and I said it before too, like around this dip in the waveform. What is this? 116, um, where it's just the sample and it goes on for literally 30 seconds. 30 seconds before that drop comes in. I can't hear what the sample says, so I have no relation to it. It's like hard to hear. It's much quieter than the rest of the track, so it's like the perfect place to lose somebody. So arrangement wise, like I would shorten that up, make it a little more, because you need dynamic range. Dynamic range is important for sure.
Right.
We always don't like it when someone brick walls it, but
Yeah.
if you go quiet for too long, it's just like, oh well, all right, I'm done with this. So I would avoid that. Everything else sounds really solid though. Like Josh said, like I said it too. Like the hi hats sound really crisp. The drum beat sounds really sweet. I love the kind of opening and closing the club door when the drop happens is like unique and cool, and it was done really well. It wasn't done in an annoying way. Um, epic kind of strings. The sample itself kind of sounded like Josh said it too, Disney movie-ish. So it was kind of weird
Yeah.
to have like a
Yeah.
Disney movie trap remix.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Um, so maybe that might have like was like a weird. That's probably like a conflicting like vibe thing, but yeah, I'll put it in content too. But yeah, all that being said, and some of the advice that I gave you there, I would put you at a 50-50 between yellow and green. Um, I think that
Yeah.
30-second bit of the sample that I can't hear is a really big misstep, though. So I would
Yeah,
try tuning that. It is a work in progress.
definitely.
Like you know, that's what they're for. We're
Yeah.
hoping we can help you out because you
I
have
mean, that,
get pretty good talent so far. So
yeah, yes. I think some of those things could fit into production too. Um,
possibly, yeah.
I was gonna say, oh, well,
This is
actually,
Josh's favorite topic. Everybody, buckle in.
one thing I remembered about the content side though was towards the end, like there's obviously that quieter section, and there's like a really nice build there. And then I was kind of let down when it didn't bring the energy back up much at the
Mhm,
end. I was expecting it to. It was partly based on like seeing the waveform there, and it looks like it gets louder, but I was surprised how much it kind of didn't. Um, so yeah, it felt like you could have like brought back another like high energy moment at the end, but I didn't really feel it so much there. So that's one thing. But yeah, I mean, production again, it's just like uh, make sure that you're doing the telephone effect thing in a way that's like clear to people. Like maybe oftentimes what I find when people are trying to do that sort of lo-fi sound, right? Or like in other words, the sort of telephone effect, they don't do it dramatically enough. Like they sort of go like halfway, and then it's hard for the listener to tell whether you just put something in there that sounds bad or if you are trying to add a sort of stylistic effect to it, right? If you only go halfway there, it doesn't achieve either goal. So like you need to kind of commit to it and like really band past that thing, obviously to the point where it sounds good, because you can also go too narrow. But
mhm.
make sure it's clear what effect you're trying to do when you're doing stylistic things like that. Um, that's one. And yeah, the levels in the quieter section, it should just be a little bit more consistent. Like you can bring energy down without bringing volume down a ton. The volume does help, but it's not the only cue that helps people understand the journey of your song. So
Mhm.
yeah, just be careful there. And then other than that, there's not a lot that I can really think of other than
Yeah,
that. I
yeah.
mean,
No, I think
overall,
you hit
like
the
your
nail
drums
on the head.
again, yeah, drums sound good, like instruments sound good. Overall, it's packaged really well.
Mhm. Yeah,
So yeah, I mean, production, I sorry, I keep interrupting.
that's
Um,
fine.
I would say I would give it a 75 or 80,
Right.
75% on production.
Yeah, I would definitely up it compared to the other topics here because this person
Yeah,
sounds like they're very
well
don't know
versed.
why. Yeah, I said fluent, but very learned. I don't know.
Well versed and fluent, kind of synonyms, yeah.
I guess so, yeah. In the production schemes, it's just we may have felt that some of it was misused, like the processing or filtering on the sample, and also just like kind of overall dynamics issues. But um, yeah, that's our thought on it. I'll match his score there, and for an overall score, I would say that would put me at like 50-50 between yellow and green. Uh,
Yeah,
and honestly, like if you make some of those changes, like if you just make the leveled out a little bit, um, like most of its stuff is like, okay, I could just master it differently, take this 20-second section and either make it more prominent and more gripping, or just shorten it, and then maybe end up with a little more energy at the end. And I mean, there you go. Like I think that could definitely just boost up this track a lot, and you don't have to really do relatively that much. So that's where
yeah,
I'm at. What do you think, Josh?
yeah. I'd have to agree. It's super solid. I would say around the same, maybe even like 60%, because there's some.
Yep.
I think it's a good foundation, and it's just a couple things with the packaging, really.
Yep.
All right, cool. Thanks for
K
that.
Suave
And
in the building. Sorry.
yes, it is the real K Suave. Welcome
Dude,
back.
wait, so actually I don't um because there's like a big artist named K Suave now, but is that you, K Suave?
Oh.
I don't think it is, right? I just checked the
Are there
the
two?
Instagram. I was like, I don't remember this being K Suave. I think that's definitely. I don't know. Let's see,
I mean,
Thought Slayer. I don't know. Maybe. I'm pretty sure it's not. But anyways, yeah. We. I've never heard this other K Suave's music, so I'm the fan. You're the real K Suave is what I'm trying to say.
right,
To me.
exactly.
But anyways, who's next? Let's see. Shibble B.
Yep.
Yep, Shibble B. Listen to Clay. Don't let me hide. Prod by Shibble B. Let me see. Does he
Oh,
have a
it's
description?
he
Yeah.
does.
Okay. So had 72 hours. 72 hours to finish this for a contest, and we're talking of releasing this seriously. Oh, okay.
Dude, I love those.
Yeah, dude. The Hip Hop Collective album that we did, it started with the 12-hour like just session of from like 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. of like let's make a fucking album or something.
Yeah. That's
Obviously
dope.
didn't work, but yeah, that time crunch on the creative process is like pretty powerful. Okay, Shibble B. You have anything else, Josh, before we start it?
Nope.
All right, Clay, Don't Let Me Hide 2022, prod by Shibble B. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, punchy ass drums.
Yeah.
Don't let me hide.
Oh, nice. This is cool.
Stay so strong. I feel loving on I swear so dry. So dry. Maybe I'm living on you. Oh, I swear it's not for me.
Like Tame Impala.
To me, I'm twisting up so bad, baby, and I'm feeling like my head's so low. I swear I'm way too cold on my belly when I take my own. It's funny when I used to fly, I'm facing off from the young. I shall listen now, we are forced to get how far I get so low. So now we need to live it up. Live it up. Time if we try, but time to live it up and no. Live in love. Don't let me hide.
I hear a little bit of Khalid in here.
I hear it.
I feel loving on I swear I don't wanna switch out of top with the women on the picture. Filming in my bar when I'm stripping up and on a hot one side, but they're living it up and on a cold right farm with the minute. Oh, I stop by, but they let it go. I'm not far, but to waste inside. But the baby, you can tell me when I'm really, when I'm feeling, when I'm no.
I like how punchy the drums are.
Yeah.
Weekend is there.
Try me down, I swear, baby, I know. Baby, don't swear I'll fall. Baby, I'm not love. Baby, I don't swear my love. Don't let me never fucking up and you know. So now, baby, so live it up. Live it up. Time if we try, but time to live it up and no. Live it up. So now, baby, so live it up. Live it up. Time if we try, but time to live it up and no. Live it up.
Love that bass.
Don't let me hide. Stay so strong. I feel loving on I swear
Boom.
Whew.
Cool.
Yo, super cool. Do you remember that song Fa 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 by like Data Rock?
No. What?
Dude,
What?
this was
It sounds like it?
early 2000 stuff. This was the
Okay.
first, I think they like put this song on every like iPod that you used to buy like in the
Oh,
early
okay.
2000s.
Yeah.
Mm, it was such a good song, and they put it on like a bunch of the Apple commercials back then,
Mm-hmm.
and I fucking loved that song as like a 7-year-old.
I'll have to
Um,
check it out.
it's got really tight drums and vocals, and it's like a similar tempo.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a similar stylistic thing to it, um, and this reminded me a little bit of that. Just wanted to
Yeah.
see
I
if anybody
wonder,
would
Shibble
recognize that.
B. Yeah, anybody in the chat or
Yeah,
Shibble B yourself?
there's a
I
little
like the
yeah,
little Bitcoin B there, by the way.
yeah. Man, I mean, what are your first impressions?
I got like a Tame Impala vibe with the drums, especially. Um, I could hear the Khalid vocal performance and the way he goes like using the what is that rasp or something?
Yeah, it's the
I don't know what that's
rasp
called,
and yeah,
or if it's
vocal
nasally, I'm not
fry.
sure. Vocal fry, there you go. I heard that. The guy's got a sleeper falsetto actually. But
Mhm.
I was thinking the whole time like I can't wait to hear Josh's like bit on production about this because
Yeah,
there's something about it that I personally can't like pinpoint exactly
yeah,
what's happening, but
yeah.
maybe you can.
I
But
can talk about a couple things with
yeah,
that.
I don't like so I don't know if it's like the vocals are being too present or something. Um
Yeah,
like if I were you, I would like put a little bit put make the vocals kind of the back seat with that crunchy rhythm section. Like just let them carry the song and kind of have the vocals just like splash in. Um, Even though the vocal delivery was like pretty decent, it's just like I just feel like the instrumental was overshadowing a little bit. But um, yeah, that's my first impressions, and it kind of leaks into vibes. So, Josh, what do you think about vibes?
um, vibes. I like the vibes a lot.
Yeah,
I don't have any problem with the vibes. Like
that's
it
true.
brings up happy thoughts. So I'm going to give it a green.
Yeah, that's solid. I mean, yeah, I really like the drums here. The crunch on them's amazing. Um, yeah, I agree with that. I can go green.
Cool.
Um,
Content.
yeah. Um, I just didn't know what the vocalist was saying. That's all. I was trying
Yeah,
to like
I,
listen to it.
I was thinking that too.
Like his flow seemed decent. He seemed like he was hitting the pitches. I just didn't know what the hell he was saying. And for many artists that I listen to, like Playboy Cardi, for example, I give a fuck what he's saying. It's all about flow and stuff. I'm wondering why it doesn't really affect me here. Maybe because I couldn't really listen to it. It just wasn't at that level where uh, it could be passed as like a Playboy Cardi thing. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I could agree about the intelligibility. I was thinking that, especially at the beginning, I
Intelligibility.
was like kind of bothered by it. I was like, why can't I understand what he's saying? Like,
Yeah.
I had to double check. I was like, is this English?
Hmm.
I think it was. I mean,
That
I
bad?
couldn't tell you. I don't think
I
I
heard.
could tell
Yeah.
you any lyrics. Like, I was more paying attention to the music also, but because I tuned out of the lyrics a little bit because I was like, I can't tell what he's saying.
Yeah.
Um, which is interesting, and it's maybe a stylistic thing. Like I also am thinking a lot about like some Khalid songs that are similar, and he's like he does a little bit of the same thing where maybe the first time around you don't really know what he's saying exactly, and
Yeah.
then like the second time or halfway through the song you get used to it and you're like, oh, now I like am getting lyrics and like remembering them, but I
Hmm.
didn't really like get the lyrics. Like I didn't feel like I absorbed any really.
Yeah.
um Maybe on a second listen, I don't know, but
Yeah, but he at least with his hooks, it's like they get stuck in your head. Like
yeah, the
young,
hooks are
young,
more
young, young,
repeatable,
don't
right?
remember. Yeah. Like that's what a
Exactly.
hook needs to do. And
Yeah.
you had the like it melodically it was a decent hook, but I just didn't like if I want to sing along, which is typically what a hook does, like and like if I'm doing like a party and nobody there knows my band's music or anything, like I'll try to like teach them the hook. So the hook should be something easily teachable, easily like, oh, once I heard it once, I could do it again when it comes again. But this time it just didn't stick, and maybe it's the intelligibility that you guys might want to work on. Maybe do another take there. But um, yeah, we got some positive comments about the vocal and performance here, though. It looks like a lot of people like it in the chat. So looks like what you guys have been working on, for that 72 hours. It's something special for sure. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
forgot
we're here for
about that.
scores, though. What's up?
I forgot this was done in 72 hours. Dope.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. So it's done 72 hours, and now they're at the stage of, trying to polish it and then do an actual release for it. And so this is
Right.
where we come in, right? So first of
Yeah.
all, thank you for coming to us, man. Like you guys sound pretty decent. Like this is a pretty nice, a nice. What did you call it? Baseline or foundation? I think to start with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, if I were to change anything content wise, and this might leak into a little bit of production, but and I can't wait to hear what Josh thinks. But yeah, I was like, okay, the rhythm section is like kind of the shiner here. It might be even a little bit too compressed or brick-walled, maybe. Um, but I think that's the shiner of the track is the rhythm section, um, and, if you want to make that the shiner and then have the vocals kind of take a back seat, I would process the vocals in that way, rather than being so upfront with the beat there. Um, and if I were you, if you guys want to have like a hook that's intelligible and repeatable, you might have to do a second recording of it. Um, but yeah, that's something I would change. So all of that, I would probably put it at. So baseline content I think is really good. Bassline's awesome. The drum beats are awesome. The singer's talented. He has a cool voice, cool falsetto. So that's pushing you a lot towards green. But then there's things that I would change, like um, the hook. I definitely want to be able to sing along with this song, and then maybe some processing things. Overall, that's like maybe like 70% between green and yellow for me for content. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah. I mean, the main things I'm thinking about, like, I agree about the hook. Yeah, I do wish that the hook was a little bit more repeatable and like recognizable, memorable, however you wanna put it.
Yeah, more of a
Yeah,
hook,
yeah, yeah. That would be
and
a
it
good thing.
hooks me. Yeah.
Right. I do think that the like overall flow of the song and the duration is great. There was never a point when I was like bored or like waiting for it to end. I
Hmm.
was just like waiting for what's going to happen next because I was sort of like excited to hear what was happening next,
Yeah.
which I think is a good thing in this song. Like there's a lot of songs where you're like waiting for what's next because the current thing is boring, and then
Mhm.
there's songs where you're waiting for what's next because you like what's going on and you like want more. So
Mhm.
that's definitely a good thing for this one. Um, that I mean, I think most of the like instrumentals, like content and the vocal performance is good. I just want
Mhm.
to get into production, really.
Oh,
so
I know you do. All right,
so
drop a score
content,
and go to it.
yeah, content. I'm gonna give it like 80 or even 85% maybe. I
Sheesh.
thought most of that was fine. Like I don't think it absolutely needs a change in content, but it could be helped that extra 15% or whatever. So yeah. All right.
All right, ladies and
Production.
gentlemen. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. We got a bachelor's in music technology here. Josh Hoffman Peterson is the wonder boy when it comes to this category. So take it away, please.
All right. I'll try my
Enlighten us.
best.
Get your notepads,
Um,
everybody.
so I mean, this is related to a couple things you mentioned, but maybe a little bit different.
Yes.
Um, the foremost issues that I have with it
Yes.
are it relates to sort of the layering or the like depth of field with the vocals that they're the main vocal
Yeah.
and the drums, right?
Yes.
Like first of all, the drums come in immediately. They're super punchy, super hard. Like that's great, super
Mhm.
thick with two C's.
Thick.
Um, but then I also am like on the fence about whether it is like the ideal sort of like punchiness of the drums versus when you find like a really sort of pure, like almost too pure sample or sound source, and
Mm.
it doesn't sound as like real or
Mm.
like you know what I mean? Like when we often refer to a sounding too stock, it's sort of like it's either too predictable, like it sounds like a lot of stuff that's out there, it doesn't sound
Mhm.
unique to the song, or
Mhm.
it just sounds like too pure, like it doesn't sound like it necessarily fits in with the overall scene. It's almost
Mhm.
like when you're doing video work or like photography or whatever, and you have like most everything is like lit well, or even if you're doing like photoshopping and you're trying to like put somebody into a scene, if the lighting on that person is a different color temperature than the rest of the scene, it looks fucked up, right?
Yep.
Because you haven't integrated that thing into the environment. And so
Yeah.
maybe it's just a like, I mean, I know that those drums are very dry, so maybe you need to like send them through, or even just send a bus with a reverb on those, right?
Mm.
Or maybe you're doing a tiny bit of that, do a tiny bit more, but like help that blend in, help sort of make it feel at home with the rest of the scene,
What do you
uh,
think it's sticking out to comparatively?
like relative to.
Hmm.
I mean, it's just sticking
Or
out
just the
relative
sound by
to
itself?
um, the sound by itself is probably okay. I think it's more just like a slight mismatch thing with the sort of sheen over it, right? It just sounds like too pure. It sounds like you just took it out of a sample pack, put it in no processing, and then you've got all these other instruments like the vocal and those like guitar parts and everything else, and even the bass that have this similar sort of like indie texture
Mm.
quality, and like they're all in some sort of reverb for the most
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
And then the drums are just kind of like right in front. They're also louder than
Yeah.
than everything else, basically. And
They're
so
pretty loud.
they're right up front. It doesn't sound like they are in the same space because they don't. You don't hear the effect of any sort of reverberance from those drums happening. So it's like I'm like hearing like drums in like an enclosed space that's
Mhm.
perfectly acoustically treated, and then the other stuff is in this big luscious room. So it's like it's the mismatch there, right?
I see.
Um, so just like again, one way to do that is with a bus to a reverb, like a stereo reverb type thing, that just gives a little bit of that room like ambiance feeling back, or at least like being in the same scene. Or if you can send if you're sending everything through like a master bus or some sort of bus with like a light compression layer on it, or even like one of those like tape machine type plugins, like on a conservative setting, or if you're sending it through a bus, you can control how much you're getting. But
Hmm.
like something to glue things together. I just say compression or like tape machine or whatever because those are good for gluing elements together to mix.
Okay.
So that I mean, the main thing is that like, hey, the drums are great, they sound great, but they don't sound part of the scene so much, and they're a little bit too loud relative to everything else. I thought.
So you thought that
Just
for the drums, but not the vocal?
no. So I could see how that perception could be had,
Yeah,
right? But
because that
for
was
me,
mine.
I felt like like most obviously the drums are louder relative to everything else. They're right in front in your face, and they don't sound like they're part of the same scene. So that was
Mm.
problem number one. And then I had a weird thing with the vocals where I'm like, uh, there's something odd here. I think it was that they were drenched in too much reverb.
The vocals?
Frankly, yeah, I think that's what the main problem was, and that reverb, like the
I
sort
can see
of
that.
tail of that effect, like kind of streaks through the mix, right? Like it
Streak.
stays. It's true.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
like if you look at a
it's funny.
spectrometer, it's what it's doing.
Yeah.
But the problem is just that like it's just too much, right? Like the vocals end and then there's still too much loud reverb.
Yeah.
Uh, Either like decrease the tail of that, or I would decrease the amount of send to that. I hope that you're sending it to a bus instead of putting it on the track. I guess if the reverb has a wet dry control, it's like kind of the same ish,
Yeah.
but just make sure that it doesn't sound like your vocal is being muddied up by the reverb, right? Because if you have all that reverberance, let's say maybe you haven't set a long enough pre-delay on the
Yep.
reverb, so like immediately it's getting washed out, right, by
Mm.
its own reverberance. It's like if you're singing in the shower, right? Like you don't want to record in that setting because the reverberance is so close that there's no pre-delay. Like you're immediately getting reverberant signal right after the vocal, and it just makes things like it's literally convolution is what it's called. It's
Yeah.
convoluted. So yeah, just be careful with your usage and levels of reverb. And I don't know. I mean, for me, again, I thought that there was something weird about the vocal, and I think that's what I identified it as. And I thought it was a little like the actual level was too low relative to the drums, which might really just mean turn the drums down a little bit.
Yep. I can
And
see
then
that.
those like guitar parts, like the like sort of pad like background guitar stuff. Also wasn't super defined. Like I don't know if that was also cloaked in a little bit too much verb.
Dude,
Um,
there's also like strings that I heard that were just like there's just like squashed by the mix. Like I could barely hear them.
yeah,
They were
there
down the
were
middle, which was interesting. I would if I were you, I'd usually put strings, especially if they're just doing chords. Like pan them out to the side, man. Like
yeah.
give the track a little more depth.
Yeah,
Uh,
strings, that kind of stuff is like the ideal thing to pan out and give it some stereo
for
space.
sure.
But
Envelope us with the orchestra here. What's up, Aciddale? Sorry.
yeah, I mean, overall, it sounds good, but there's a lot of elements that are fighting with each other, and I think most of it just comes down to being cloaked in too much reverb, or maybe it's the wrong reverb.
Dude, the
Um,
reverb tips on pre-delay was like that's a good tip.
yeah,
That's something that I could explore too as well.
yeah,
Pre-delay, like it.
pre-delay is important. I'm trying to think. I mean, I think most reverbs have a way to do that. I believe. I mean, even like stock reverbs in DAWs should have a way to do that, and a lot of people just ignore it. They're like, I don't know what that means. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, no,
I
it's
know.
it's
These
definitely
presets.
important. With all
Yeah,
these things, it's like don't Google like how long it should be. Like, I mean, maybe that can help you get a baseline, but
yeah.
uh, like turn it all the way to one way and see what it actually does,
Hmm.
and then dial it back, and then dial it somewhere in the middle. And also with that stuff, I don't know if anybody else has noticed this in like master classes with big mix engineers. They make decisions very quickly, and it's not just because they're really good at it, but and they're like instantly able to know. It's partly that, but I think when you fiddle with knobs for too long, you just lose all perspective, and you're not making any new ground, right? That happens a lot where
Yep.
you're like really intent on getting something right, and then you work on it for 2 hours, and then you listen to the version before and it was better before you spent those 2 hours. So
Yeah,
everyone could probably relate to that
yeah.
with
They could.
mix.
That's probably a cross field
Yeah,
principle, actually.
definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I mean, production. I think that's the main like important stuff that I had. I would give it like 55, 60% between yellow and green.
I could see that too. Yeah, I could say. Yeah. I guess for me, maybe I'll go a little higher, like 70%. I do think that the only reason I do that is because it wasn't something like super obvious to me, like some of the other songs that we do that we look at, and like I'm like, oh, I know what this problem is. The volume is just way too different, you know. This one was literally like, oh, I wonder what Josh has to say because I have no idea how to fix this, and
No, I had the same feeling. I was trying to figure
it's a
out what
subtle
is
thing.
bothering me.
Yeah. So, looks like you're battling with a higher level concept, Shibble. It looks like Josh has some suggestions for you. Um, I'm not too much of a whiz in that production department, but I see what Josh is saying, and if I were you, I'd apply it. So, yeah, for the most part, I think the production was done really well, but I do agree like that there's something off, and hopefully this explanation can help. Um, help you address those feelings. So yeah, I'm at like 70% production. Overall, that puts me, I think like 75% between green and yellow. What about you?
Um, yeah, no, I'll say the same. I mean, I think overall, like this is a bop, right? Like
Yeah,
this was definitely good. There's just a few things that are kind of confusing, but uh, shouldn't be too. You've got again a really solid foundation here. It's like it's a good song.
right. Yeah, and like if we're just saying like we're engineers, like this is what we would try to do for the next mix because we're glad that you did this as a work in progress because it's a great song. It could have like high potential. There's just a couple tweaks. That's all.
Yep,
But cool. Thank you.
dope.
Looks like Aztec Heart Sacrifice really liked it. By the way, got some more submissions. Don't handle mine like a commercial song. It's just fucked up funk. Well, we'll see about that. Beats by Ryu. As Nadell, I was in the queue, but I think missed last week's stream. Let's see. Who do we have? So next is Rix's. We have Casanova, Mito, Giordano Martinez, which I saw in the chat. What's up, Giordano? Yordnads, I don't think is here. Kaiden, K Suave, Rio, Lil High. Asnadel. Oh yeah, we did you glurping. Oh dude, Asnadel's the glurping guy.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Were you here for that last? I think he said he wasn't. Right?
You know,
He had to
he
go.
wasn't. Dude, yeah. I mean,
Go watch
so
it.
yeah, we have like there's like a playback or a whatever, a VOD that you could watch.
Yeah.
So we did your stuff last week. Um it was some entertaining sounds, very cone soundish, which was cool. Everything sound produced really well and sound designed, but like literally it sounds like a robot like farting and burping on a mic. So like, you know, take with
There
that what
was.
you will. Like it's
Let
dude,
me.
it's a funny experience for us. So
Oh, it definitely. Well,
go
so
watch it. Go watch
let
it.
me
Yeah.
euphemize a little bit here. First of all, if you can't find it on Twitch, Twitch is kind of stupid because it's owned by Jeff Bezos. Sorry, Twitch is stupid
Yeah.
because it deletes videos like after you upload them or to go live, so you have to like clip the whole thing. Whatever. YouTube doesn't do that. Not that Google is like a better company or anything. I mean, like seriously, but those videos are all on YouTube too if they get deleted from Twitch. So
Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
if you want to find it, it should be there. But we just felt like we had some associations to the more organic evolutionary instincts of our auditory processing centers, which was
Kinda
cool. I
like
mean,
Robo
and
Parts,
we
yeah.
said it was like some pro sound design stuff, really cool.
Yeah.
But it is kind of funny, so just be prepared for our critique.
Yeah, definitely.
We mentioned it at the beginning of the stream too.
Yeah, go watch it. Go watch it. Let us know what you think. Okay, so Rick says it's next. Song title's Chroma, Work in Progress. This is an electro track hugely inspired by Medeon's adventure style and Mo Shop's funk. Bro, I love Mo Shop and Medeon. I haven't listened to Medeon in a while, but from what I
Nice.
heard, it's good. Was going for a happy, energetic vibe that's danceable with enough variation to keep things interesting. Okay,
It's what
that's
we
cool.
like.
I think this was referred by Clinton. Yes, another Clinton referee, dude. Like
The
Clinton
viral
is a
coefficient,
popular
it's
guy,
crazy.
dude. For real, he is literally Omicron. It's insane.
He's like Wuhan. He's the OG.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Chroma, Rick says, Josh, you have anything?
No.
All right, 3,
Let's do it.
2, 1, boom. Why didn't it start working? I see the Medeon like right away.
Yeah. Waiting for that drop.
Ooh, I like this.
It's like a half drop.
Definitely a happy vibe. Nice.
There's that variation.
Oh, I know this chord progression.
Like 2 chord progressions happening.
Sounds like something about us. My dad thought. Whoa, what is happening here?
Big change. Nice stereo stuff happening.
Yeah, I was thinking that exactly. All the glitchiness in the stereo feels great. Drums have a nice groove to it too. Solid.
Cool.
That was solid as shit.
What are your
Chroma.
impressions?
I could see the Madeon influence right away for sure. Like right from
Yeah.
the beginning. You know, that what is it, low pass or no, high pass. High pass filter into just the happy vibes, all the stereo choppy glitchiness that we all love. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate all the variation. I do think that the main riff that you have sounds, I'd say, like the most clean. There's a couple variations where I think maybe you could tweak a little things to make it sound just as clean as the others. But overall, my first impressions was this is solid as fuck, and I think you're only a couple small tweaks away from this being really really ready to go, ready to release. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah. I mean, overall, it's a fun like club party song, right? Uh, Definitely like on
This be like the
the up.
happiest club ever.
Yeah, like very like happy. It's like a little bit. I think there's something that you can that there's a risk a little bit
Hmm.
of when you make something sound too happy, it sort of
Hmm.
loses like a little bit of credibility, if that
Too
makes any
cutesy.
sense.
Hmm.
Yeah, like it's a little bit like it's like Mario game or something, or
Or
um
like, yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. Yeah,
yeah,
like
there's like
I could put this in my toy ad or something.
yeah, or it's like one of those like royalty free tracks that's like too
Yep.
happy. There's a lot of those. Like a lot of these like royalty free song libraries have like categories, and they have like whole categories called like happy or euphoria, and like
Yeah.
every song is like way too fucking happy. Like there's no
Yeah.
real music in the world that sounds that happy, cuz like real people like I mean some people. It's like those like very rare people who are
Yeah.
like oddly happy. You know what I mean? Like,
No, yeah.
it's not a bad thing, but
Do you
it
know
just
that
maybe
one
seems a
riff
little.
with the glockenspiel where it's like ding 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 ding, like that fucking stock song with like the
Yeah, like
ukulele? Oh my
I
god,
could
it's
see
like
that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. But I mean,
I
it
see
is the
that.
kind of thing that you see in a lot of like videos, like
Mhm.
weird when you're like on YouTube and you like stumble into a video that's actually an ad made by somebody who like hired a voice actor to like
Mhm.
read a script, or worse, they use a robot script actor, and then
Mhm.
they add some really happy music and a bunch of JPEGs. It's like that kind of music. It's like
Yeah,
that weird like only royalty free libraries have this style sort of, or like
yeah.
Mario games a little bit barely.
Maybe Rix's is that your vibe? Like maybe that's your lane. I'm not sure. There is a market for it, but yeah,
Yeah.
that is our overall impression. So I
Yeah.
I
So I
feel
mean,
that
that's maybe. I mean, I'm saying there's kind of like a hint of that. Like that's not the entirety of the vibe.
for sure.
Uh, Overall, yeah, it's still like it's a good club type beat, and yeah, I mean, I don't really have much more than that. I would say vibes for me is just uh like 40% between yellow and green, because like
Dang, really?
there's parts that I like about it, and that, but like
Mm,
overall, like me personally as a person, I probably wouldn't like regularly listen to this, because again, I just feel like I don't fully resonate with the like necessarily the club thing maybe, but also just it being so like upbeat where it feels a little disingenuous to me personally.
yeah, I think you could see my reaction, literally the live reaction, and this is why I think live stream feedback is like so powerful. you could see my like face. I was like happy and smiling in the beginning,
Yeah.
but then like my smile slowly fades away because it's like, yeah, okay, I felt the happy vibe. Like I get it. Like show me some contrast, you know, like but
Right, right.
and I think that's where we also see that, oh, okay, this just becomes background music because everything's happy. There's no like I could
There's no
totally see it.
contrast, yeah.
Yeah, I could totally see like a Twitch streamer or like Ludwig like intro his video like "What's up, bros?" like blah blah blah,
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
this
yeah.
song's playing in the background, you know. Um, and again, there's a market for it. So depending on what
Yeah,
you're going for,
it's
Mhm.
like hype music. It's great when it needs to be like a supplemental thing that like hypes something up, but not
Mhm.
necessarily as like the main focus or
Yep, yep.
subject.
Dude, I just want to say, so what's up, Chess Bro and Yakucho? We're doing good. I just want to say that
Hey.
Asmodel, he's watching our VOD, right? He said he just got to the part where I talked about the Hank Hill toilet meme.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's just toilet sound.
Keep
Oh, it's
watching.
so good.
We played it.
So all that being said, I think the vibes I would put this at. I think there is like you know something special in the happiness and spurts and like I that was a genuine reaction where I was just a smile on my face, goofy dancing looking, but you know it just mellows out and then um I guess my face just gets bored of it after a while. So all that being said, I would put it at like maybe 70% between green and yellow. So really decent overall sounding production and everything and happy vibe. I think you accomplished that. Maybe too happy for a club, but yeah. That's what I'm feeling. So what about content?
Content?
Yep.
Let me think about this. Do you want to go first?
Sure. I think I guess that's a production one. Content I don't maybe I could start with a good because so like yeah, you know, I'm trying to find something negative to say, but because like that's like criticism and how can we help you improve it? But there's a lot of good things to say, so I'll start with that. Like now you heard us comment on this too. Um, it sounds pretty Madeonish, and that's a really big compliment because Madeon's like a wizard when it comes to production. All the glitchiness of the vocals of the synths, and you pan it and the stereo filled well. It just makes it an interesting soundscape to listen to. Um, the melodies I think are pretty catchy. I don't think they're super memorable. Maybe that's something that you could work on. Um, it just sounds like a Twitch streamer background music kind of type beat. Um, I think, and this might be more of a production thing that I would like a little bit more oomph in the bass section. So more bass in the kick, more bass in the bass synth itself. Um, But let's see. And in terms of the arrangement, I did talk about this. So I do appreciate the variety that you're offering, and there's like a couple different sections. Um, but I think I highlighted one. It was like at 2 minutes, I think 2 minutes, 10 sections or something. It just feels like the pad that you're using kind of just washes over everything and almost overtakes the drums, even in that sense. So you might be able to benefit from a little bit of side chaining there, but the main section itself, I think, is done really well. Um, I feel like there was a attempt at variation, but it wasn't enough to put me on a journey. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where I was like happy, smiling. The main content is good, it's decent, and then you try to put in a little variation, but I'm not fully convinced that it's not like a nice roller coaster. It's just like a kiddie
Yeah,
ride, you know.
yeah.
Oddly enough, we talked about this could be like sell your toy type song. But yeah. So if I were you, like on content, I would uh just be braver and go even fucking weirder. You have the solid foundation, and it's a solid ass foundation. Now do something fucking weird with it. Make it interesting. Go past Medeon's happy phase and do something crazy. Um, so yeah, I think this one it's around the same kind of zone for me. Um, like 75% between green and yellow. It's really solid. What about you? You think of something to say?
Yeah, I think I mean on the content side,
I'm gonna get
uh
kimchi real quick.
yeah, the I agree about those synths. That it's maybe also a production aspect, but yeah, that middle section sounds super like kind of washy. I wasn't sure like there were a lot of things again that were bumping into each other, and it was just very like nebulous sort of. And then you come like I think after about 2/3 you come back into the sort of hook or the chorus, and it's super punchy, right? So you know what you're doing. It's just there's some sounds that maybe could be switched out in that middle or earlier section, I believe. Or maybe some production work that could be done there to not make things clash so much, like just use less elements or choose different ones that aren't super like washy and spread out like that, or use less reverb or whatever's going on there in the background. um Also, yeah, I agree about the variation. Is that a bagel? About the variation, you should try to put a bagel in there. Wait, sorry, wrong train of thought. um I think like you're kind of using variation just for the sake of using variation, which is kind of what you said in your description. But yeah, he's like, "Yep, that's it." Um, I think it like we need more of a story. He said roller coaster, but we need more of like a reason. Like my main problem was that you have like the four on the floor beat through like the whole thing basically, and then you've got these layers on top, and like most of the song they're like connected, right? But then we have this weird like disconnect when the beat stays exactly the same, but the upper layer, and in some cases even like the chord progression, like the musical, foundation, like changes. And also for me, I thought it changed at like a weird unpredictable time. I was like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting a change up here," or like the transition was not clear enough where I'm like, "Oh, like now we're like halfway through this new section or chord progression. I didn't know that we were entering it," which is not great. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of like being more intentional about your variation, creating sections that are a little bit more defined from each other. So like do something with that kick drum, right? You can still have a four on the floor, but like change the velocity of it, or something about the timbre, or like change more of the elements around it to get more of like a scene change rather than just like a, oh, now we're using like a different synth that maybe doesn't sound as good as the last one, and like it's a different chord progression that sort of catches you off guard a little bit. So just yeah, being intentional about those changes would be a good thing here, I think. So
Yep.
content, I'll give it a. For me, honestly, it's like a 50% between yellow and green, because I think those things are really important for like the structure, the bones of the song. And if you can add more contrast in terms of like the vibe and the drama in there, it'll greatly help the story that you're trying to tell with your
Yep.
song. Or if there's no other elements to the story like that, shorten the whole thing up, and you don't have to do that sort of forced variation. That's
Yeah,
another way to think about it.
that's true. Or if it's a background song, like then what Josh is giving you is the advice of how do I take background music and make it a song, right? Because this could be background music, but if you don't want it to be background music, which I guess that's what we're assuming, this is what we would say. So,
Yeah,
all
and
right.
if you're going the background music route, like make sure that you're one thing that I hear a lot is like the chords are like very repeatable in a background music type thing. Like if you go to a different progression or you change things up too much, it's distracting. It takes away from the purpose of the song being a nice background element for the actual content that it's being used on. Instead, you'd want to vary up like your timbre, your dynamics, those kind of things, but not like don't just like go 180 and like put in a different synth that sounds out of place, or like a different chord progression. That's like not a good application of the background music thing. Definitely look at the like filtering, like using filters for sections can be so effective to just like low pass something so it has that like, the club doors are kind of like half shut, right? And then you
Mhm.
come back into it, and then it all, and that's great. That can work for either background music or subject music.
Yep.
So yeah, but production, um, there are a couple things that you had mentioned that I agree with.
Bass.
Yeah, the bass. So
Bro,
so
this is a club
you're
song. I need that bass.
yeah, I felt, I mean, pretty much from the beginning, like your frequency space, right? Let's say that your low frequencies are down here, your high frequencies are up here. Um, like even the kick drum was the lowest element that I could hear, was like kind of like here, right? Like not bad. It wasn't like super low and thumpy, but it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then your like bass, like your harmonic bass foundation was like above it. So that definitely was lacking in the low end space. I was like, I'm not getting that like thump from the actual like bass instrument or the harmonic content as a musical foundation. I just wasn't getting it.
Yep.
And then the other stuff is higher up, and the parts that occupy your upper mids and your highs are like also pushed further forward in the mix, meaning they're just louder. They're just turned up in volume more than those low end elements. So overall, your mix is top heavy. There's all this
Yep.
stuff happening up here, and then your bass and your kick kind of end like a little bit shallow, like not deep enough, and just feels a little bit unbalanced. So that's my main thing for production, other than the middle section with those synths that are super washy and kind of stepping on each other.
Yep.
But I think that's really all the production stuff that I had.
I agree. Trying to think if I can add anything. I think you already talked about how you could fix that wash stuff, right? So
Yeah, a couple ways we've talked about it.
yeah. So yeah, I think I agree. I do want to reiterate though that you do have a really solid foundation. So
Yeah.
these are just some nitpicks. Like a lot of it was fantastic. So that being said, let's see, the bass, gotta have a bass, more bass in a club thumper, especially the 4 on the floor type. Variation, we talked about it. I would put it at again. I keep putting it the same score, 75. What do you think?
I was gonna say 65.
Chee! There you go.
Well, it's like, I mean, those are just important elements. I would, if it was
They are.
me getting feedback and I hear it's like 70% or 75, I would be like, oh, it's mostly good, just a couple small tweaks. But like, definitely spend the time and make sure that you get those both of those elements right, because they're important.
Both. True.
And then
Overall,
yeah,
what is
I mean,
that? I
for
think I
me,
put me what 70. What about
yeah,
you?
sure, I'll say
Between
70.
green and yellow.
Mhm.
Yeah, decent. Would definitely like to hear the progress on this because this is a work in progress. So thank you for the submission, Rix's Chroma. Let's go to the next song, shall we?
Let's do it.
Castronovo, let's go. So this guy, he's a rapper in the hip hop collective, which just the UIUC hip hop collective would just release their first album.
Let's
He
go.
didn't put a project description, but I think he said it was like not mixed or whatever. So he
It says
wants me to
unmastered.
yeah, he told me to like more focus on, I guess, his delivery and like the content of the lyrics
He said,
and
"Go easy
like the
on me."
flow. Yeah, that's true. Maybe I shouldn't go easy on him just because he's a homie, you know. There's no favorable treatment here. We're trying to be objective. But
But also, if it's not mastered yet, like we could give a couple of brief pointers on how to get it there. Maybe, I don't know. We'll
that's
see.
true. That's true. We could do it. So let me open it up here. So I did talk to him. He was like, "Oh, dude, did you see my submission?" I was like, "Oh, not yet." And so he was like, "Yeah, blah blah blah." He told me. So I just wanted to make sure we got that out of the way before we did it.
Dope.
And before, I just want to say, I think there's a one first time chatter. I don't see him. Neck like a giraffe. Oh, yeah, dude. He's trying to clown on my bagels, but it's going to taste real good. It's a fucking Hawaiian bagels. But okay,
Oh, damn.
you ready?
Didn't know
Braun
they.
and Wade?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sorry, yeah. Meyer makes a Hawaiian bagels. It's so good.
Didn't know they had
They
those.
taste like marshmallows, bro.
Ooh.
Okay, Castronovo
Mark-
x Young's Forbes, Braun and Wade unmastered. Let's go. 3, 2, 1.
Ooh. This is what it sounds like when I drive.
Speeding ticket.
Hey,
Yeah, a lot.
yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Hey. I'm staying in tune with my true sense of self. Good vibes, good health, that's a true sense of wealth. And I really give a fuck about your 2 cents as well. And I know these boys pussy got a good sense of smell.
Look, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Well, I've been all about my dollars since I aged 10. My new girl a straight 10. Surf the pussy, they jump on my way, man. Get bread or get laid, man. That's all I gotta say, man.
Step up in the party, get it shaking like a spray can. I don't want your shawty, but she always tryna make plans. Up in the jacuzzi, motherfucker cost me $8 grand. Funny, I got groupies, but I'm the one who chase bands.
Yo, I'm the one that make bands. I'm the one with bitches by the poolo. Ain't no spray tans, ain't no thing is too low. She could do more, what she say, man. He got cash at pseudo. On my life, that shit is fake, man. Step up to the plate, man.
Aight, damn, hit a grand slam, cause the base is loaded.
Hey,
Rolling
that was dope.
baseball bats, let me face is potent. Call me athletic, cause the cookies came from Oakland. Eating better than whoever, get
Yeah.
your plate stolen.
Get your stay stolen, homie, get your bay stolen. Not in Texas, but I'm holding, got your bay loading. Me and Ray rolling J's, wish this beat could go for days. Go to sleep with all my chains on this beat like Brown and Wade.
Bring that heat like Snoop and Dre. Piping tip, Ghost and Ray. 2 dope boys like Outkast, riding dirty, UGK.
Riding with a 30 Gen 5 in my sweatshirt. Remember when they used to curve us? Now we round there getting nervous.
We be really working, no sick days, but we get work
Yeah,
off.
I don't like a broke bitch. To me, that shit a turn off.
Yeah, when we turn up, yeah, your girl can turn up. And I'm finna, man, I'm finna fucking swerve. Oh, fuck, I don't, fuck this beat.
Fuck this beat. Bro, he was knowing Daniel or Castronovo. He was probably trying to freestyle at the end there, and he was just like, "Fuck this shit."
Yeah.
I know
Dude.
it. I've seen it. But yeah,
That was dope.
dude, Castronovo is like, I gotta say, like, he has like some of the funniest bars, like, in the album. And here,
Yeah.
the y'all boys pussy, I got a good sense of smell. That was pretty sweet. What was it, Grand Slam and the bases loaded? That was pretty sweet too.
Yeah. There were a
Um,
lot of throughout, like a lot of smart, well written
Oh, yeah.
lines.
oh yeah, I gotta ask him where he's from too. I think he's from Rockford, Illinois, but like he has a maybe I shouldn't fucking dox him like that, but
Sounds like
he has
Rockford to me.
he has like a twang to him, like that's just like an interesting sound. Like it's almost southern, but maybe more rural. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
I gotta ask him about that.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
neck like a giraffe. That's you. That's Daniel.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Let's fucking go. All right, bro. Ignore the mix because there's no mix, but tear my shit apart otherwise. Oh, my bad, bro.
Yeah.
Of course you'd fucking clown on my bagels. Whatever. All right, this track was ass, dude. Next. Can I get a red on all 3? Can I get a red in the
Yes.
chat? Bro, deadass had a girl ask me if I was from the South today. See? He has that twang.
Interesting.
But
But are you
anyways,
faking it? That's the question.
that's true. Are you? I mean, I talked to him, so seems genuine.
Oh, that could be it. All right.
Yeah,
Dope.
but okay. First impressions. I think we got that out of the way. What do you got for vibes here?
For vibes, I mean, very directly for vibes, I'm getting like this is something where if I discovered it on my own, like on SoundCloud or something, I would like think, oh, this is like some underground project that's like scrappy and like just starting out but has so much potential. You know what I mean?
Yep.
When you find something like that and you're like, oh shit, like I have to follow this person because they're gonna blow up, like
Yep.
that kind of thing.
Damn.
So yeah, I mean, but it's actually complemented by the fact that I can tell it's so unmixed, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I really don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like when you hear, I kind of like sometimes when you hear a project that sounds like super like genuine in a way because it hasn't been like tampered with a lot. Like you can tell, and it also helps when there's a strong sense of artistry and the people are having fun. That's like the biggest part of it, right? I can think of a lot of stuff that like has that sort of, you know, you can see right through the recording. You can see them recording it because it's so real. It's just like these guys like having fun, and there's not a whole lot like it's not obtrusive, right? Like the beat is like simple, but it's like what's needed, right, to support the bars. So yeah, I liked the vibe overall. I'd give it a green.
Yeah, it's very cruising vibes, and especially with all those artists that he was dropping, like UGK and Outkast, and um, who else was it? It also gives me kind of like a plug and B type feel. It's just very stripped and had that same kind of synthscape there. The E pianos, especially. It was very chill. The deliveries, I'm not sure if I. So the delivery, I could say Daniel and Young Forbes too, both got like a really nice flow. Like they're very flowy. Um, the delivery itself is monotone, and I'm not sure if I either would keep it monotone or do a little more animated, because the way this beat is and it's chill like that, like maybe you do keep it monotone. Um, I'm trying to like say give advice on what to do next. So it's either like I'm feeling either try a different, like maybe a little more not pizzazz, but like just like changing the tone here and there, tonality, or it could just be like put some sort of vocal effect on there that's a little less dry, cuz like Josh said, like it sounds like something that's just completely dry, and like you said, it's not mastered. Um
Not
so like
mixed. Sounds
not
like.
mixed. Like the question is like what's next, right? And so I could almost see like putting filters kind of like a 3-6 Mafia type feel on this. Um and maybe even like experiment with like pitching down your vocals or something like that, like something
Ooh,
crazy.
format shifting or pitch
Yeah,
shifting.
yeah, like some
Please.
DJ Screw type some shit on that, but I don't know, man. That'd be great, cuz the fucking the lyrics and content and the flow are all solid. It's just like what would I do next if I was engineering a project? I feel like I would mess with the vocal effects, cuz I do think that I like the monotonality. Like I think it goes um with just the vibe of the beat and stuff. So I would do
I
that next. Maybe that's content or production. I'm not sure. What are we on? Vibes?
Yeah.
My
What's your
bad.
score?
My bad. Yeah, my bad. I think this hits the nail on the head. Like it sounds genuine. It sounds what is it? It sounds chill. It sounds like chilling music, cruising music. I could go green here for sure. Nothing clashes for me. It does sound like SoundCloud rapper type beat though. So
Yeah,
uh,
like I'm trying to figure out from some of the stuff you just said also.
mm,
Like I think you want to be careful in maybe it's a good like the delivery. I feel like what I get from the delivery is it sounds like people who are kind of just having fun recording a song, and that's great, you know, like and especially when you have good bars, it's like that's what it should be or it can be.
mhm,
Um, so I like that a lot. I'm just trying to figure out how, like if you're trying to get it from here to being like closer to like big artist vibe, you know, like generally that means like if you want to reach a lot of people or whatever, like make it fit in with people's libraries. So it's not just like they have all these big artists they listen to, and then there's this one track that's like quieter than all the rest, and the delivery maybe doesn't sound as professional, or the mix and the master, you know, sound too homemade. So there's a balance there. Um, but yeah, I mean, I can think of a couple of avenues you could go. There's a couple things I will talk about in the production phase, some of which may not only be because of the mix. So we'll get into that. But I mean, just for content, like love the bars. The beat works well with the music. Uh, it's not. I didn't get bored. So I mean, for content, I think it's green. I don't really have anything there.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah. What do I have for content? Yeah, I think mostly, and oddly enough, he told us to not really talk about the mix and master, but it's like we got to
Yeah,
talk about it. Like this is good. What's next?
yeah.
We want to elevate you, bro. We want that Castronovo EP for sure. So content for me, yeah, there's no struggle bars there that I heard. The beat sounds great. Your guys' delivery sounds decent. Um, with that caveat of maybe either vocal effects or um, maybe a little more animatedness in the vocal, but I would try the effects first because it's got a chill vibe to it already, and it's already genuine. So that being said, we got a bachelor's in music technology. We got a specialist. He's rubbing his hands together. Everybody, it's Josh Hoffman
All right,
Peterson. All right,
all right.
production.
Let's go. Okay, first thing, this is related to, again, like I feel like we're picking out the same things that sort of strike the ear. You said vocal effects. I have sort of a similar, I have a related piece of advice about that, but I don't
Yep.
necessarily think the answer is just vocal effects. And the reason I
Yep.
say that is because um, luckily we've got the recording engineer in the building, so we can ask about this stuff. But I'm wondering, there were two people, right?
Mhm.
Was one of them standing like 3 or 4 inches further from the mic than the other when they were recording? That's
If
question
I were to
one.
guess, it would be young Forbes standing further. Is that correct? Is that what you have too?
Yeah, so I mean, let us know if that's correct, or if they were recorded on like different mics or something. Um,
Because we can hear it.
and also, is the room treated adequately?
Mhm.
Right? What I heard was one of them, I could hear more room noise. I could hear quite a bit of room noise on both. Like you wouldn't,
Mhm.
if you're trying to make it sound like radio ready quality, and you want, like, you're gonna go in and like compress the vocals and like make them sound more upfront. Uh, if that's the route you want to go rather than like the DIY project sort of sound, then you probably should re-record the vocals. And if you do that, I think that would be a good case for like nailing the delivery to sound a little bit less impromptu, and more like either more like consistent or more animated, right?
Mhm.
Like, that's, if you're going for that vibe, you need those two things, and so that would warrant re-recording, I think. If you
Mhm.
just want to keep it like simple and like, and it fits in with the rest of your portfolio, if that vibe is the DIY project thing, two guys in a room having fun, then you don't need to necessarily do all of that, right? And then that
Mhm.
would come into how you mix it also. But if it's the other way, then like, yeah, definitely re-record.
Mhm.
Um, that's the main thing. Once you do that, once you have vocals that sound more upfront and less like, I can tell this is like an amateur like recording setup, as far as maybe, I don't know about the gear because I'm mostly just hearing the room, but yeah, it's just like there's two different routes you can go, and that's kind of a decision, I think.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so
Sorry, my sorry.
no, you're good. I'm reading the chat here. He's
Oh, okay.
saying two guys in the room having fun. We're not on that at all. I'm assuming that's sarcasm. I think.
Pause. Hey yo, hey yo.
Yeah. Um,
Don't have too much fun there, okay?
yes.
Dude, Daniel give good neck like a giraffe. Bro, you gotta change your Twitch name now. Let's go. You got that long neck. Let's go.
Oh my god. All right. Having
All
fun
right.
here.
Yeah.
Um,
Just two boys having fun in a room. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to think, like, other than that, it's really like which you're just choosing a school of thought or a vibe. If you're on the current one, then just like a little bit of light compression, a little bit of like room effect, maybe like a little bit more might be wanted, and some glue, like some sort of like just very subtle like master bus compression type thing.
Mhm.
And I think you're pretty much good, right? Like, this wouldn't be that far off from that vibe. The other
Mhm.
case, of course, there's a little more work, like maybe fleshing out the instrumental a little bit, making it punchier, right? That's good, like doing the full mixing gamut, right? The re-recording stuff, making sure that your effects and your stereo stuff is like, more fleshed out, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't. It's really up to you where you go from here, but I think those are two avenues, and there's some steps involved there. So
Mhm.
really just want to see where you take it, honestly, and then
Yeah.
if there are changes at that point, we could definitely look at it again. Yeah,
Yeah.
same mic, different distance from the mic, bedroom recording. Um,
We wanna go from 2
yeah.
guys in a bedroom to 2 guys in that jacuzzi right there, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Like,
that's a good way to put it.
the way it's
Um,
recorded, we don't necessarily get that vibe yet. So,
yeah, dude,
or
if you need advice on if you want to get it to be like that, and you're saying bedroom recording, it's possible to do bedroom recordings that sound professional. There's a lot of people out there on the radio who, like, a lot of your favorite shit probably is people in their bedrooms these days. Um,
crazy.
but with on the like treatment side, please don't do what so many on the internet do and just buy like only the really fucking thin acoustic foam panels, because they only work up to they only work down to a pretty high frequency. They're really only going to block like flutter echo and stuff like that, but they're not like, especially if it's a small room, not going to work on any mid frequencies, not going to work on any low frequencies. The cheapest way to do it, don't go to one of those sites that's going to try to sell you real legit acoustic panels that cost $400 a piece. That's stupid. Instead, buy the materials, which is literally the same shit, which is Owens Corning 703 fiberglass panels.
Damn,
They're
this
2x4 foot. Yeah, they're 2x4 foot, and you can buy like 10 of them for $300. It's literally like 10 times less expensive than what you would buy from somebody who puts it together for you. And then you buy a big roll of black or whatever color you want burlap fabric, which is acoustically transparent. And then you wrap it around. You can like staple it on there. Really the best way to do it is with like spray glue, although you can do that outside. So I mean, you could just do like, there's glues out there that you can apply. That's the
man
way
has
that I've done
literally
it.
done that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
I
done
was
it twice. I've made like 40 fucking panels. There's like, I think over there, yeah, those are panels. It's not set up in this new place because I just moved here. But yeah, that's the way to go. For I think that's a useful piece of advice for anybody who's recording or mixing, because a lot of people don't know that, and it seems expensive to properly treat your room. But if you just buy the materials, it's very easy. Then it's not as expensive, and it's worth it. Okay, I mean, all that being said, I think production.
Develop.
Somebody also said,
That'd be
sorry.
fair.
So, yeah, I'd definitely say develop. What about you?
Our group develop. What did you say? Not for real, same mic, but probably different distance from the mic. In bedroom recording, I have to consult Forbes about what he would want to do.
Yeah.
Had the DIY vibe, for sure. Yeah, the beat did have a DIY vibe. Yeah, man. If this is going on like your first SoundCloud mixtape, like fuck yeah, just drop it.
Yeah.
If you want to take it to
If
the
it
next
fits in
level,
with the rest of the mixtape, then yeah, like you don't need to like make if you do it to one track, if one track sounds really like upfront and like pro and radio, then you need to do it to all of them. This to me, like I said in the initial vibes thing, strikes me as, if I find this and I discover it, I'm like, oh, it's like up and coming, like these guys are I'm honestly thinking like once these guys do their next project that's going to be like professionally recorded and shit, it's going to be so dope because they have the artistry and the sound and the feel. So
bars.
yeah, it's really up to you. It's not to say that you're done with this one, right? But you're like along the right track. I think is our opinion probably.
Can also record under a blanket. Yep, the Travis Scott method. But
yeah, you
okay.
can. It depends on other factors too. Like still, if you're in a really tiny room, a blanket isn't going to isolate all sound frequencies. It's the same thing. Basically, how it works is that more massive objects or thicker objects, it's sort of a combination of both. The more massive, the lower the frequencies it can deal with. And so like you can put like a blanket up on the wall, and if it's a really thin blanket, like it'll mostly just block like some upper mids and high frequencies. It's not going to do anything for your mid range. It might still sound boxy and weird. You might even have like mid range filtered reverberance, which is not a fun thing to listen to really. But it can help if your main problem is like that ping pong shit, or like just whatever's bouncing off the walls. And a blanket is similar. Like it can help, but if you're in a crappy room still, you're too close to a wall. If your mic like isn't a very good sounding mic or signal chain, then it doesn't mean you're gonna get a good result, right? Like there's so many factors that like even if if somebody that did something a certain way, if it's not as like tried and tested, there's not as much of a chance that it'll also work for you. But it could. Just try things, experiment, A/B the recordings. Did you do your production score?
Yeah, I already did develop.
Okay, and then total.
Total is, I mean, yeah, I like the artistry, I like the vibe. I think the content's great, the bars are great. Very clever. It sounds like two guys in a bedroom having fun.
Yeah.
And,
right.
Hey man, I want you to drop your mixtape already. So But yeah, it could be better on the production side, as we all kind of knew this going in. So I would say
Mhm.
it's like 60%, maybe 50% between green and yellow.
Yeah, I'll echo that. Again,
Um,
depends where you want to go with it from here, but
yeah.
it's definitely a really good start.
If it's a SoundCloud mixtape, drop it. I mean, if it's
Drop it.
SoundCloud single, drop it. Whatever. If it's like a
Yeah.
one-off thing, like just drop it. Then it'll be sick.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah. Let's go to the next one here because we look like we might be running out of time. We
Yeah.
got Meadle.
I think
Um,
this is probably going to be the last one that we can do today.
I think so too.
Sorry, folks. We have a lot of interest here,
Yeah, it's great.
which is great. Yeah, it's great
queue.
to have everyone tuned in and keeping the discussion going. But again, like we get to everything eventually. It's just that we get so many, and we try to give detailed feedback.
Yep.
It's like if you want us to to give like less useful feedback, then we'd be able to fit more. But we prefer
Let us
the
know.
other way.
Yeah, maybe we'll
Yeah.
do 2 formats, but we'll see. I just want to name off the queue before we do it. So Meadle's now, and then next week, Giordano. Sorry, you're in the chat. At least you were, but you will be first next week. Count on that.
Yep.
You will be first.
Mm-hmm.
Your Nats will
Everyone.
be next. Kaiden, I think Kaiden submitted, so you'll definitely be up next week. K Suave will be fourth. Rio fifth. Lil High sixth. Lauer again. And this is the okay. Hold on. Zoxa, XOXA, and then Arinity rounding out the queue there. So if you heard your name, what I just read, you probably will not be gotten to today, but we will always get to whoever submits to us. So stick around every
Mhm.
Friday. We will be here. Lauer, remember that's the one that had that like anime orchestral, just fucking hard style cross up, and it was like a kind of like a big release.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is the real person. If not, Lauer, if you're there, let us know. Like, what's up? Like, it'd just be cool to talk about your experience. But yeah. Anyways, let's go to Meadle, huh?
Let's do it. All right,
All
I've
right.
got it pulled up. Is there a description?
Nope. And it's called Untitled ID. So I don't know.
I love that name.
Wait, is it a work in progress? It's a work in progress. All right, Meadle. From what I remember, Meadle's pretty skilled. So let's hear. All right. Untitled ID, Meadle. 3, 2, 1.
Those cymbals are fucking loud.
Yeah, fucking loud. I turned up my thing too. Like, melody. Wow. Nice brass. Got like a fucking brilliant bass. I like it. It's dope.
Great sounds in here.
The drums pop a little bit. That bass sounds
Oh, dude, that's pretty cool.
This reminds me of fucking Banjo Kazooie type melodies. It's crazy. Big sound. See, this is how you do variation, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Very defined sections. Yeah.
That bass. It's a little loud. guy is like borderline professional. Every time I think he submitted, it's he or she. Sorry, keep doing that.
They.
They are borderline just professional sounding. Like
Yeah.
this crazy. Um, yeah. What do you have for first impressions, man?
Hmm. I'm just noticing I turned my volume down quite a bit. Um,
Yeah, dude.
that
That
might,
intro, fuck, man. Like it was quiet. I turned up my volume. Then that symbol
yeah.
came, and I was like, ah.
Yeah, I hadn't turned my volume up, and then that came in, I had to turn down. So I think that might be a symptom throughout a little bit. It's also a little bit like top heavy or just a little bit bright. Like a lot of those parts, like that cymbal swell, and then some of the like the stabs, like the brass stuff, or whatever.
Mhm.
I think just sounded like again a little bit bright compared to the other elements, and so maybe a little bit of top heaviness there.
Yep.
Could be the setup. Could be that you're absorbing too much stuff in your room. I don't know if it's like a carpeted room or if you just got like a ton of high frequency absorption, or also maybe your system has a ton of bass because that could make you
Bass.
you're hearing so much bass that you don't put a lot more in or you take some away, and then for the rest of us it sounds like there's not enough even though it sounds good in your room. You probably know this Meadle, but for the other folks, um, yeah, that might be one way to put it. Other than that, I mean, dude, like you're like a master crafts person of putting together drops and like
Yep.
sections. The variation is done pretty masterfully, I think, as we said.
21 followers. This guy should have more followers. It's crazy.
What the fuck? Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Get out there.
for sure.
Jeez.
Promo it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think again with like the variation thing, you are really good at you don't have like constant variation. Like there's parts where it's pretty static, for like 8 bars or whatever it is. I wasn't really counting. And then, but we're not like bored because we know something cool is about to happen. It's
Hmm.
sort of like even when there's no like direct sonic element to help, like there's no like swell of anything, you can just
Yeah.
sort of feel like okay, something's gonna happen because you consistently do that. You
Yeah.
consistently make sure that things are placed at the right points, and just the order is it's very like neat, and the progressions seem to make sense while also having parts that are unexpected, like
Mhm.
different like instrument stabs and like cool stuff that you do in there. The other high level thought that I have is um I don't know if it's volume or compression or something
Mhm.
related to that, but like your first big drop comes in and it didn't sound as much bigger compared to what was happening before as I expected it to. Right? It was a little bit
Underwhelming.
stagnant. Yeah, a
Mm.
little bit stagnant on the dynamic front, like expecting the drop to feel really big. And again, it could just be that there's like a number of shared elements before that are at the same volume they will be in the chorus, and like just need a little bit more contrast and dynamics there. Um, could be that there's just a little bit more compression over the whole thing that's causing that to happen, but yeah, I consistently sort of felt like the drop wasn't big enough, or it could even be again from that sort of slight top heaviness where the low end isn't hitting enough, and so it's more like this sort of tinnier drop that we're getting, which doesn't feel as impactful, right? Like
Mhm.
if Thunder didn't have like a low end
Mhm.
aspect to it, it wouldn't be like scary, right?
Yep. Yep.
Um, so yeah, those
I
are
think
my
definitely,
thoughts.
definitely to a lesser degree than some of the other songs that had a similar feedback to it. It's
Mhm.
just like a
Yeah, yeah,
tad.
right,
Um,
exactly.
and I would say even, and I mean, this might be like just right away vibes. I think is green. Like this is fire. This is crazy. This sounds
Yeah.
professional.
Mhm.
Um, content, yeah, this sounds crazy. This is professional. I think most of the stuff we're just going to talk about is production.
Right.
And even then, like I could tell, like Josh put it well, masterfully putting this stuff together. Um, so maybe we could just offer our takes as just third ears here, or third and second and third pairs of ears or whatever. Um, so yeah, I think the that main kind of bass synth that's kind of playing counterpart to the brass there during the drops. It's got like a couple layers. It's got a sub bass to it, but it also has got that like kind of not squeaky, but like that fucking
Yeah,
like
yeah.
area. I equated it to Flux Pavilion. Maybe that's no longer relevant, but it's a old dubstep artist I used to listen to who did something
Yeah,
similar. Um, that instrument, I think, um, like what I wanted in that mix was like I want every single other instrument to be that loud and that present. But that typically means that to get that, you probably have to take that instrument and like duck it. It might be too loud compared to everything else.
could be.
Because like the brass itself, like it was like bam 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 bam, and then that other one would be like bah, 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 bah. Like it's much more energetic to me, and I feel like if you just maybe lower that a little bit, maybe you can get the brass up. It's either lower that or bring everything else up, in my opinion. And
Yeah,
yeah, that's why I say typically in the mixing process, it's more subtractive than it is additive. So
right.
um, I think that's my only kind of critique on production, though. There are some couple things like that beginning symbol was way. It might have just been the fact that it started off way too quiet. So I personally had to turn up my stuff, and then the symbol came in. But even for Josh, the symbol was very loud and grating. So kind of goes to the top heavy comment that he was talking about before. Um, Other than that, I think yeah, most of my comments are very small. Um, and I've honestly said it like during the listen through. Like everything else is really solid. I don't think I really need to dive into anything else in particular with you, Meadle. So for me, I would say this is like production at a like 85 to 90%. What about you, Josh? Oh, between green and yellow. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. I think we pretty much described what we're hearing. Like for
Yeah.
me, there's like multiple issues, but I think they're really just contained within like it sounds a little top heavy again, meaning like there's the bass maybe doesn't hit as hard relative to the upper frequencies, the high mids or whatever. Like the piercing parts are quite piercing, including the cymbal, like the stabs, but
Yep.
they sound a little bit like more present than the oomph of the song. Even though I
Mhm.
can hear it's there, it's just like the balance is slightly off. And what else? I mean, oh, there was a little bit like more towards the beginning, a little bit of ambiguity I heard, maybe caused by a reverb or just caused by some couple things clashing frequency wise. You might need to do a little bit more EQ carving to make sure that different elements aren't stepping on each other's feet in the frequency spectrum. But again, that can also be caused by like using a reverb that's just a little bit too imposing. I always find it difficult to find like the right reverb because there's so many out there. It seems like that just like have a weird like resonant frequency or like a weird overall spread in that regard. Like there's a lot that like I generally like a more airy reverb that kind of is like in the background. Um, and doesn't like there's so many reverbs I find that are in the like the upper mid space or the low highs, and that eats into the harmonic content or the transients of like a lot of other things. You know what I mean? Like I like those really open sounding reverbs that are non-intrusive and more airy, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Um, so it's easy to like put a reverb on that if you might already have clashing between two instruments in that upper frequency space, then you put a reverb in there and now you've got no space in there because it's filling it all up. It's like water in that at that level. So yeah, just like again, always be careful with that. That is worsened by compression, obviously, because if your reverb is like a lower level, compression is going to take it and turn that up, and now you've got like this solid surface of like sound sandwiched between reverb and sound that are like maybe stepping on each other directly and masking. So yeah, just be super careful with the ambiguity part, the separation between instruments, and the overall like EQing moves that you're doing and your overall frequency balance in the mix. And I think you'll be golden because the song underneath and the arrangement are pretty fucking cool.
Hmm.
So production, I would give it. I'll give it a 75% between yellow and green.
Overall.
Most of it's great. Yeah, it's just like there's a few things. I think it's just symptomatic of like reverb compression and maybe your mixing environment or system.
Hmm. And then for an overall score,
Um, I would say like 85% of the way to good to go.
it's pretty much what I said. Yep.
Yeah, it's
Looks
really
like
good.
Case Suave says lemon lime. So Yeah,
Lemon lime.
we're in the lemon lime for sure. Maybe
Can we
lime
get
green.
Sprite? Can we get Sprite to sponsor us? I'd love to play a Sprite ad on that little screen there. That'd be nice.
Cold like Minnesota. Yeah, we can
Or
get
they
some
could
Lil
send
Yachty.
us like a lifetime supply. We could just be drinking it all the time and like burping even more than we already do.
Like Lil Yachty. Yeah, dude. Flatulence Fast Track Fridays. But
Yep.
that is the last track of this week. Thank you everybody. Like I said, DQ for next week. Giordano Martinez, Yordnads, Kaiden Maldonado, K Suave, Rio, Lil High, Lauer, Zoxa, and Aridity. Looks like we might
Whew.
already have a backlog for the next
Exciting.
week. That's
We
1,
have
2,
more
3,
songs
4,
than
5,
we came into this stream
7,
with.
8, 9. Yeah, so there's 9 people. I would say like typically 5 or 6 is what we get to. So Giordano definitely, Yordnads definitely, Kaiden definitely, K Suave definitely, and then Rio is our 5th one, and then Lil High maybe. Lauer might be a stretch, but we'll try to get to you guys, and we will definitely get to you guys eventually. So stay tuned.
Yes.
Some
We'll try
people
our best.
also are like, "Oh, skip me," or sometimes they delete the song. So do with that information what you will. Feel free to just check in and say what's up, and if maybe we'll have like a thing where you say Q, and then we can let you know. But yeah,
Yeah. And there's
um,
always, as you guys I'm sure know, there's always, new things to discover from other artists. A lot of cool stuff, a lot of variety here,
yeah,
and maybe knowledge that, could help you in your projects as well. So,
that's true.
yeah, love
Feedback
to
in the
have
chat.
the discussion and the presence. It's great to have everyone here.
The company, yeah, guys, thanks. Makes our Friday that much better. So cool.
Mhm.
With that,
Cool.
peace out. Let's see. That it. Peace, fam. I'll cash app to go now, Lamau. Wait, what?
That
Oh,
I love how we stream for like 2 hours
dude,
and then the response is that's it.
dude. K Suave said he'd pay us if we do it now, but we don't got a fast track cash app. But
Yeah, we
dude,
can't do
that's the
that.
that's the next thing. Maybe it should be, but
I
it's a good
mean,
idea.
maybe we'll see.
We talked about it because we do have a lot of submissions now, but
Yeah, we have to
not
figure out a
this
way
week.
to juggle it. But yeah,
Yeah,
we're not going to make you pay right now. But it's
not this
like
week.
to
But to
figure
skip,
out some way to make it manageable.
yeah, but to skip the
Um,
queue, like that makes sense. But all
yeah,
right,
or something like that. It's just
yeah.
if we have like today we have more songs
Mhm.
than we started with. So
Yep.
you can see if that continues to happen, like we'd have a backlog of 20 or 30 songs, which is no bueno.
Sure.
So yeah, but we'll be back
Hold
next
on to that
week.
money, K Suave. We'll think about it. All right.
Yeah.
Next week. Sign us off,
Yep.
Josh.
All right, everybody. Make sure you follow us on the gram. That's always there. That's where you get most of our updates and content.
Yeah.
We've got some things coming there as well. I think I saw somebody. Oh, who was it?
That joined the
Yeah,
Discord.
Kucho joined the Discord today.
Let's
Thank you
go,
for that.
Yakucho.
Write something in there. There's a bunch of different like channels that you could hop into and say something interesting and start a
Yeah.
discussion. Be a pack leader there.
Yeah.
We haven't utilized that a ton yet, but I mean, it's like really, if you guys want to utilize it, then people will. So feel free to join that. If you go to our Instagram, it should be in our link tree. And other than that, follow us on Twitch and YouTube. Like we said, we're back almost just about every Friday, and hope we can keep giving feedback on music and helping you guys and listening to what you're up to.
Yeet. All right, get us out of here.
All right, let's get out. Have
right,
a good
peace,
weekend,
y'all.
everybody. Happy Friday. Peace.
Thanks for submitting.
Out.
Thank you for
Yes.
submitting.
Thanks for joining. See ya.